Everyone, welcome back to Michelle Reed's A Lot of Fantasy, and once again I want to say welcome, and it's Owl Symbol Sun Festival Day. Google sends me weird stuff. Alrighty, so I am going to not just do a book review, but also to talk about one of the fantasy books that I'm reading, and I do believe one fantasy book that I acquired. So, for people that don't know, this is my Nook Glow Life 4 Plus. I generally whip this out when I am charging this. However, I decided instead of switching back to the 4, just continue reading on the 4 Plus. So, I love my Nooks. I really do. Alrighty. So, first of all, happy Sunday, everybody. Hope all of you had a great week, a great weekend, or all that jazz. So, I am currently, as a physical edition, I'm currently reading The Fury of the Gods by John Gwynne. Right here. And I don't remember if I posted my review of Rhythms of War by Brandon Sanderson. If I have not, I will do that today, and you will get it today. So I am doing I'm doing a review of The Legend Begins by Georgina. I cannot pronounce the name. I discovered her because there was a book that Barnes & Noble had for free called The Hidden Princess, which is a fantasy book that has like an Asian tint to it. So I was like, wow, I'm going to see what else she's written. So The Legend Begins is I believe it is a retelling of Hansel and Gretel. However, the boy is the only one that survives. So this was 99 cents. No, let me take it back. It was free. The second book is 99 cents. This is a cheap fantasy book. And generally, like, people that have books this cheap, they're not really into it and making, like, mounds and mounds of money. They just want to get their book out, which is great. Alright, so The Legend Begins is the first book in this series. I don't even know what she called the series. But it's about these Flame and Ezek. I know I'm probably butchering the poor kid's name. And Flame comes from one family and he comes from another, and they were born on the same day, and they fall in love with each other. So it's tiny little bit of romance, but romance is not the central plot of the book. It is absolutely secondary. So here's the thing. You don't really get a lot of books that have fantasy as the central aspect of the book. Most of the time, it is always going to be the romance, not the fantasy. Well, this one, the fantasy is central to it. So you have a world of of witches and magic, and this one old woman arrives at this village asking for room and board. She gets turned down because she's a stranger, and she puts a curse on the entire village that nobody will visit, and that, typical curse. But then she ends up living outside of the town, and outside the town, it's like the seasons go on the way they're supposed to. But here's the thing: the townspeople are not limited to the village. They can still go out to the village and do what they do. So she lives there, and she likes to eat children. Yeah, you can see where the Hansel and Gretel thing comes from. And so these two are captured by her, and it's assumption that these are the two that are going to defeat her. It turns out to be absolutely true, but there is a cost to what they are doing. So, all in all, I enjoyed it. It was a novella, so that, like, she has them in, like, parts. So this is part 1. I went ahead and purchased part 2. I will start reading part 2 on Monday. So, that was a really great one. All of her books in this series are like 99 cents. So, I have, in my Barnes & Noble cart, I have book number 3, 4, and I believe 5. I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to follow his entire journey all the way to the end of it. Okay, then, Fury of the Gods, which is my only physical edition of fantasy I'm reading. I've got this much left. I'm not really in a hurry to finish the book. I'm going to say I'm also reading it on my Kobo. However, I'm really not liking John Gwynn's book on the Kobo. So, yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's like, it's not as great as I thought it was going to be. So, today I'm reading this physically. I'm not reading it on the Kobo at all. So, I really am digging John Gwynn's books. I've got the sequel to Valor on my Nook, so I will be reading it from there, because I just don't have the money to afford to get it as a physical edition. Alright, another book that I'm reading is The Hidden Princess by the same author as The Legend Begins. This is a fantasy role with an Asian tint. I have the second book in my cart as well. And this is about a young woman who is, I think she's of age to have children, but before she can actually become who she's supposed to become, she has to go through this training. Generally, the training, I believe, is 12 years. However, she has to learn all this in 3 years. This is a trilogy, so each book can represent a single year that she's the hidden princess. But in this world, there was a magic war, and magic became forbidden, and they exterminated, or they thought they did. And yeah, so she has magic. Alright, I also got the 4th book in the Witcher series, or the 2nd book in the main one. And this is called, I think it's The Age of Abandonment. I don't really know. I don't. Anyways, so I actually had this on Kindle Unlimited, and I decided to go ahead and just get it for Nook and everything. I think I did a review of The Son of the Black Sword, and I just let you guys know that I will be starting on the 2nd book after I finish The Hidden Princess, because I kind of want to basically basically get one of my big fantasy books read. So anyways, so that is everything for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I have decided, I have decided that I am going to be reading primarily on my Nook for this entire year. I'm going to be reading each book. I do have another book called The Gilded Wolves. That was a free book, so I didn't, if I don't like it, I'll just get rid of it. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to read all my books on my Nook. And I think, when I get maybe, I don't know, 6 books read, I'll take my order from Barnes & Noble and I will go ahead and have it sent over to my device. Anyways, yeah, so that is my video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.